Welcome back. The name Zunera Ishaq became well known in Canada during the 2015 election. Zunera decided she wanted to wear the niqab during the citizenship oath despite a government ban. She challenged the government's ban and won in the courts not once, but twice. Today we have Zunera Ishaq in studio with us once again to reflect on lessons she learned from her legal battle. Welcome to the show, Zunera.
Thank you.
So I want to take you back to last year. I don't know if you want to go back there, but we're going to go there. You know, about your journey and your battle with the niqab and battling with the government on the ban. How did you decide that you were going to take up the government on this fight?
Well, basically when I started thinking about, about the citizenship oath ceremony, I had already applied for that and waiting for the response from the department, from the office. So I did not have an idea that I would be taken to the court to that extent and the stuff. But I was only having something in my mind that if I can find some way out of it, so that I might not remove my niqab, my face veil, in front of the whole ceremony people in the room gathering. So I was only intended to go for some options or something like that. I never thought for the court battle and the stuff like that. But when I was at that point, I asked a couple of my friends, and they told me, just don't forget about it and go and remove your face veil for a while and take your oath, and that's it. You don't need to worry about that much. It's only a couple of minutes play. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it's for me, as I never removed my niqab in front of the public in a large, group in the community. So I was feeling very uncomfortable, like
with the idea.
Feeling like pushed towards it, and not literally feeling comfortable with that. So I was kept on discussing with a couple of my friends, and all of a sudden, once I was talking to one of my friends, she said, why don't you go and ask for some person who can help you? And I said, who that person could be? And she is like, maybe some law student and someone. And I was like, oh, what the law can do in this respect, by the way. Because in my back of the mind, I was having this thought, if it is the federal policy, what the law can do. Because if I were in my back home, no one had ever thought to challenge this kind of policy, But anyways, at that point, I never thought of challenging and the stuff.
So then you met the law students?
Yeah, I suddenly met the law student at one of the FMW's breakfast, and there was the law student, and my friend introduced me to her and said she's looking for some kind of the legal counsel. And I was like, no, I wasn't actually. But he said, no, just tell her what you are up to. And I told her what was in my mind, and she was like, oh, are you really interested in that? We might be able to help you in this regard. And she then connected me to the group of the law students at the University of Toronto, and the professor Audrey. They were actually looking for some volunteer client who can help them as a client to challenge this policy.
Okay, so they were already looking to work on the policy, so and it was perfect timing.
That was the perfect timing, though. But for the first time, they told me the thing that they are looking for something. And I was like, oh, really? I did not think about
it.
So I was not that excited that time. But I just took a couple of, I said, okay, give me some time. Let me think about it, and then I'll get back to you. And they gave me the 2 days time, 24 hours. But I said, no, 2 hours are enough. And then I wrote back, I emailed back to the professor and said, I am okay. I'm ready to go with you. And so she was like, no, take some more time. Okay. Because it's not that easy decision. And then she said, how about having a conference call with you so that we can let you know what are the points you might face during this journey and the stuff. And I said, okay, go ahead. And then they scheduled.
And sorry, at this point, you weren't thinking it was going to be anything big
or
anything
all.
Like that. Okay.
Anyway, so once we were having the conference call, Professor Audrey was mentioning a lot of the stuff. And at the last point, she mentioned that, you know what, if you were be in court due to this the decision, you might be on media then. And I was, oh, really, media? I never thought to be on media. And it was the only point of concern for me, because I was thinking that I can't go on media and speak onto the live cameras and the stuff. I would not be able to cope with that. So I said, is there any possibility that I can avoid media? And she said, yes, if you want, so we can like put the request from your side that nobody can approach to our client, and only the representatives will be able to answer you on your behalf. And I said that would looks great to me. And she said, okay, what do you think about all other details? I said, I am okay with everything, as long as media is not touching me. And she said, okay, well, try to make it sure that nobody approaches you.
So how did you go from that to, you know, when I now Google Zunera Ishaq, there are so many videos and a lot of articles. So how did you overcome decide to deal with the media
after
attention?
The first decision came into my favor when the previous government decided to challenge the decision and they took it back into the court. That was the point when my lawyer called me and asked me, and he was like in very polite tone, he just said to me, you know what, Zunera, we are thinking at this point you should be on media. I was like, again the same thing, you know, Lauren, I told you I might not be able to do that. But he said, okay, how about sending a piece of writing on your behalf and the stuff. I said, yeah, I can do that. I have that. I can express my, you know, the feelings and the stuff. I'll send you. Would you be able to have a look on it? And he said, yeah, why not? And I sent a couple of, you know, writings from my side, and he just edited and then sent to the media. And that was the first time when he said to me, you know, the printing, you know, response has actually changed the situation for you. I really think if you could go to on the cameras for small interviews, maybe only 15 seconds.
He was getting you ready slowly.
And they actually filmed me for only 15 to 20 seconds for a couple of my answers and the stuff. And I never knew that they are going to send it to the TV, and then she sent me the link. And I was, I am already.
So how did you? So obviously, I guess that was the start. How did you feel? You know, following that, you've done lots of interviews. You're here on TV today as well. How did you feel last year when you realized that this was becoming much more of a bigger issue, and you know, it became a pivotal discussion point even at the elections? How did you feel?
Basically, when the second decision came into my favor, and I was at the courtroom. Media was already there, definitely. They were looking forward for the decision and the stuff, and they were actually quite excited to interview me. And all my legal team was with me. They knew my choice, and they were hesitant to ask me to answer them the couple of questions. First of all, the lawyer went outside, and she actually answered a couple of the questions, and then she called me upstairs. I was in the courtroom again with my baby, who was only 6 weeks old that time.
Wow.
And she called me and asked me, you know what, media is down here. Would you like to answer a couple of the questions to them? And I like, you know, Naseem, I told you that it's very hard for me. And she said, I'm just asking, you know, no pressure on you. If you don't want to, I can tell them. And I suddenly like thought that maybe giving the answer to some of the questions might help to the team of lawyers. Maybe if they are asking, I should go downstairs and maybe let's see what happens. So I called back to Naseem, one of the lawyers team, and told her that I'm coming downstairs, but baby will be with me. Is that okay? And she said, oh, that's absolutely fine. And I said, okay, then I'm coming downstairs. So I was out there, and all the media, all the crowd was already there, you can imagine. And I did not even notice that they already started filming me when I was on my way and walking down. And I was already in the media. So they started asking me the questions, and I was out there to answer them. And definitely that was the big day for me, because the decision was in my favor again for the second time, and the court has already declined the appeal. And I was thinking that there is no more hurdle afterwards. But that was my only imagination, because they actually appealed against it into the Supreme Court afterwards as well.
Did you feel supported by the, it sounds like the media gave you a space and a forum to share your opinion, your perspective. Did you feel supported by the Canadian and the Muslim community when you were fighting your battle? And especially given the elections also that were going on at the time?
Well, basically, I would only perceive the the respect from the community, Canadian community, as well as the Muslim, but it was again, by the way, for me it was only my own perception at that time, when I realized that there is a lot more negativity in the atmosphere, and people within the Muslim community as well as the broader Canadian community were writing against me and sending me the hate messages, and kind of at the last point of my case, I actually received kind of threatening messages as well, that I should stop now. It's too much for the Muslim.
And you got these messages from the Muslim community as well?
From the basically Muslim media, Muslim community was sending me the kind of messages which were giving me the the thought that I should leave the this battle now, and I should be taken my oath with the my face unveiled and the stuff like this. And this, at that point of my whole case, I was feeling so frustrated by these kind of messages, which were telling me that what I am doing is actually not in the favor of Muslims in any way. It is actually creating hate towards Muslim community, and I could not understand how a personal choice matter is like being depicted that way, and how the Muslim community is not understanding me, while on the other side, even though the broader Canadian community was not giving me that much support, but only support I was actually receiving at that time was from the community, from the Canadian community, from my lawyers team, from some students of the law sending me the messages of support, and some students of the school sending me the messages of support and telling me through my lawyers though, and they were kept on sending me the messages that see how the people are caring about you, and they are looking looking forward to on you, that you stood up and take your case to the last level and don't leave it up. So I was like I was quite a little bit disappointed at that time by the response of the Muslim community.
But now that you're here now, reflecting on the entire experience, how far you've come, you've accomplished quite a bit. What do you want our viewers, Canadian viewers, our Muslim viewers, everyone, what message do you want them to take away from your experience?
Well, I would only like to say that we should not judge any person's choices without knowing them. That's the only message I will give to all the community, even for Muslims. Like, I know that there is the difference of opinion. I do believe that there is legitimate differences in Islam, but we cannot let down other person due to her own personal decision. So even if we are Muslim, we should respect each other's differences, and also if we are the Canadian community, we should, these are the basis of the Canadian community basically, on which we actually stand and respect and love each other without their differences, cultural or religious.
It sounds like there are lots of emotions. It was an exciting journey, a difficult journey. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts. I know I took away a lot from it, so thank you so much, Zunera.
You're welcome.
Hey YouTube, we hope you benefited from this video. If you liked it, or if you didn't, let us know in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more, check out some of our other videos. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.